Products are funny. The way that people think about creating them, typically, they go about it arse about tit. I like to find a group of people who've got an existing problem, okay? But for whatever reason, the marketplace is not serving that group of people as well as they could be. It could be that the market is actually a huge marketplace and everybody's just buying the okay thing rather than looking after them, or it could be that nobody's actually done a deep dive into it and looked at what really you can do to help people, okay? And this kind of leads into that. So if I start typing in communicate with my, the number one in terms of search volume, because that's how these are ranked, okay? That's how all search engines, Amazon, Etsy, Shopify Marketplace, Google, Bing, blah, 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 they rank these auto suggestions in terms of most likely to be the thing you're looking for. And how do they look at that? Well, it's just the thing that most gets searched. So you know this is the most searched for term. Communicate with my dog is the number one search when it comes to actually communicating with something that's not, I mean, you could argue can't communicate with my husband is similar, but let's not even get into that either. Anyway, so communicate with my dog, very, very important. People are interested in communicating with their dogs, because we anthropomorphize, we think dogs can understand us and they can't, but whatever. So that's interesting. So then I thought to myself, well, I wonder how far that goes. How to know what my dog wants, for instance. So is allergic to is an interesting one. And there's a whole lot of things around why that's a potentially good niche. We'll get into that later, perhaps. How to know what my dog wants is also like this concept of communication. Humans communicate verbally and non-verbally, but we like to think of it mostly, at least on the conscious level, as being verbal communication, but we actually do most of our communication non-verbally. But anyway, so humans communicate verbally, so we think that's how we should be communicating with our dogs too, okay? So, interesting. I also then saw things like this, where the Pope, that bastion of product development skills that he brings to the table, of course, talking about in Italy, all about the fact that more and more Italians are not having children. They're actually just getting pets instead. Okay. And this is a massive, massive trend, actually a big problem, but it's a massive, massive trend, not just in Italy, right around the world, that more and more people, instead of getting a child or creating a child, should I say, we just get one from somewhere. Oh, over there will do that shop. We don't do that. Of course, we do other things to get them, birds and bees, So instead of doing that, we get a pet instead. We go to a pet store, get a pet, or wherever it is you buy your pets from, okay? So that led me to start looking at what's out there for people that want to communicate with their animals more effectively. And that led me to this little lovely thing. A long, long time ago, back when I lived in Australia full time, one of the products I used to sell in Australia and also in the UK, but I'm mostly focused on Australia, was a teach your baby to read product, which was called Brill Kids. Feel free to go Google that if you want to. I don't know if it's still around. Brill Kids. And that was a dude who I did a distributor agreement with. He developed this product. His name was KL Wong. He fantastic guy, lived in Hong Kong. And so I was his distributor into Australia and also into the UK as well. Okay, Brill Kids, great product. Anyway, so the premise of that was babies actually are able to read. And from a very, very young age, as soon as they can start to see shapes, and they can start to understand different shapes. And we can link those shapes to language. Again, this concept of wanting our the people we love in our lives, to be able to communicate with them and understand what they want. Okay. This is exactly the same. It's exactly the same premise as all of those kind of baby can read, chat to your baby, what does your baby want kind of products. It's exactly the same premise. Anyway, so these are pretty simple as an idea. Dog can't talk, of course, but dog can press things. And so you teach your dog to press different things depending on what the dog wants. Dog is hungry, press the orange button. Dog needs to poop, press the blue button. That sort of thing, okay? And I thought, what a freaking crazy idea. And then I looked at the search volume and looked at the revenue that these products were actually making. And it turns out people buy this stuff all the time. 500,000 in revenue for this one product search term alone. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. I thought, well, there's an interesting opportunity. People selling, 1,600 of them a month. That's pretty good. So then I look a little bit closer. And I see that in general, they have not been done very well. And so I think there is an opportunity to do this if you were so inclined, but to do it really, really well. So if you look at the ratings, for instance, you can see that the average rating is around about 4.1, 4.2, something like that. Okay. Why is that significant? Well, 4.1, 4.2. The reason that that's is significant is because of the star rating system that Amazon uses. Anything below 4.3 is 4 stars. That's how Amazon's star rating system works. Good rule of thumb. There's nuances to it, but that's basically how it works, okay? And 4 stars on Amazon is really, really bad to have. It's really, really bad to have 4 stars. You're okay with 4.5 stars, but anything that's got 4 stars is, in all things being equal, is bad, is super, super bad. So there is a dearth of products, all with this 4-star rating, which we get to see, because we don't see instantly that it's 4.2 or 4.1, or in this case, 3.9. We just look at the star rating. We see 4 stars instead of 4.5 stars. So there's definitely, I believe, an opportunity to do it much, much better. There's an opportunity to do it much, much better than what's currently being done. And I think that the opportunity lies in, like if we go look at what they're actually doing over here, the opportunity lies in, firstly, fixing the issue with the product. Because I reckon that right now, having to sell this at $21 is a direct consequence of this poor rating score. I would absolutely believe that if you got a product with 5 stars instead of 4 stars, you could pretty much double that price. Anybody looking for a way to communicate with their pet, their loved one, price is extremely elastic when it comes to dealing with babies or pets or things like that. We want what's best, and we will forgo our own security to help our children or our pets, in this case, to help them. We do that all the time as humans, okay? So I think there's a big opportunity for that. The problem I see with this is the fact that the product clearly doesn't work very well. And that, if you look at all the reviews, the reason for that, I would venture, scrolling, is down to, here we go, is down to the speaker that's in the actual thing, okay? Because a lot of complaints of this product is to do with the quality of the sound that's coming out. That's a super easy fix. It's a really easy fix to fix the sound. That's just putting together something with a supplier and changing up the microphone and the speaker so you get better input and better output, okay? That's not an expensive thing to do. And as a result of that, you'd mitigate heaps and heaps and heaps. Why is the sound quality so poor? Blah, blah, blah. That was a really consistent, not just on this listing, but on heaps of different listings, okay? That would be a super easy fix to actually fix the main fundamental problem with the product that people have isolated. Okay. What else do I see for this? The landed cost for these as well on Alibaba looks like it's around $3 to $5. So selling them so cheaply, they cannot be making any money. I think they're just kind of getting rid of stock at that price. Because they can't be making any money if the landed costs are 3 to 5. Sorry, the sale costs on Alibaba 3 to 5. Landed costs in the USA would be what at that kind of between 5 and 8, and then factoring everything else. Yeah, they can't be making much money on these. Okay, so again, opportunity there for somebody to go ahead and run with that. And I think based on what I've seen, you probably need around about 7,000 or 8,000 to set that to right and to launch a product onto the .com website that could absolutely take a chunk of that, around 7,000 to 10,000, based on my understanding, because the microphone to fix that and the speakers, really not that expensive to get a better quality one. You're talking like 50 cents extra to get something really, really good. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are a community of over 2,500 professional e-commerce sellers from right around the world, selling on everything from Amazon to Shopify, eBay to Etsy, and much, much more. If you'd like to find out what we're doing and how we go about helping you make your business successful, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that is in the description. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.